All right, yo, what up? This is your all shook up. Wanted to do a shout out video for my Saturdays for RiderShade. This dude is an absolute goat. I mean, he knows this game to a T. PvE and PvE. He is an absolute beast. We're gonna do a breakdown of one of his becoming a better PvPer in subclassing. He has so many, so I'm gonna link his channel in my description. The video we go over in the description, but in general, his channel is amazing. But before we get into that, if I sound real sick, unfortunately, I had a severe infection in my tooth and my bone. I had to get immediate surgery in my mouth. It was absolutely terrible. It was probably the most pain I've ever had. And then I got sick somehow. I'm thinking it was the infection. I'm on antibiotics, but I love making videos, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'm almost at 2K subs. So personally, I'm going to try to get power through this, but I had to share this video. One of the main things with this guy, Ryder, he really knows his stuff. This is the kind of, this is the kind of thing ESO needs. Videos like this. One of the main reasons that I really, really enjoy his content is because he breaks it down. Now, I try to make similar videos, but I cannot make it on the level he does. He is just absolutely goated. He knows this game. I don't really, brother, I'm not sure how long you've been playing, but you really, really know this. So I just kind of wanted to, listen to what he's saying,
Hey, it's Ryder.
kind of
And I hope
go
you're
over
staying
what he's
hydrated,
talking about.
well-fed, and having a good time through the new update. I appreciate everybody's support
Excuse
in the
me.
last video, so I wanted to get this one out quickly. PvP can be really daunting.
And the
there's a
video
lot
is
to
called
learn.
Becoming
I'm afraid that
a
people
Better
in the scene
PvPer and
overcomplicate PvP
Subclassing.
for others, but that doesn't have to be the case. In fact, most of the convoluted outlooks on PvP come from a
Sorry, I'm going to pause it here and there just to, we're going to go over what he says and, what I agree with because, pretty much everything he says I agree with, but kind of like, from a person that's been playing this game 10 years, I can tell you what he's saying is absolutely correct, which is,
lack of understanding the basics. So I wanted to break down these barriers that prevent more players from comprehending the necessary steps needed to win a fight. On your screen, I provided an overview of topics, starting with a few chores to address before we're going into improving your
Okay, so bar setup, keybinds, fundamentals, reading your opponents, how to kill, how to not die, weaving position. This is what I'm talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, just that basic right there will tell you a lot. Like, okay, like he already has the fundamental basics down. If I had to do, see, I'm not the best editor. If I had to do something like this would be an image of what I would do. So this is why this video, when I watched this video, I said, this is him. He's him.
actual skill. Starting with the bar setup, I've often seen players struggle with placing their abilities in the right spots, and this is usually
Great
tossed
point.
aside because people have preferences, but there are some objective changes to solve many issues that come from sloppy bar placements. The underlying thesis
Excuse
for a
me.
good bar involves the amount of bar swapping. In PvE, bar swapping has been historically used as a way of canceling longer animations, though in PvP, we prioritize smoothness.
So this is the thing. I'm not a PvE player. So he understands the difference between PvE and PvP. So let's say hypothetically you're a PvEer, you're a PvP player, and you really want to understand PvP. And you're coming from PvE to PvP, this is the guy you would want to go to. You don't have Deltia no more, and I'm literally saying this guy has that potential to really elevate ESO for new players, for PvEers, and even some veteran PvPers can learn a thing or two. But he knows what he's talking about. So
To put it simply, place all of your offensive abilities on your front bar and the defensives on the back bar. If your combo requires you to bar swap, you're spending precious time not effectively working towards your kill, but instead juggling two different bars. There are some exceptions to this rule, such as classic sword placing elemental
Excuse me.
susceptibility
Mine's again
and
on.
haunting curse on the back bar and their damage shield on the front bar. Users opting to use
So I know that I'm stopping it because it's kind of like a review of what he's saying. what he is essentially saying is that it's better to have most of your abilities, especially if they're not like time, like Haunting Curse you have on your back bar. E-Man likes to run Elemental Scepter. You know, the thing that comes from your, I can't even think, your staff skill line to, you know, do major breach and stuff like that and give him a dot. But those certain things you can run on your back bar, but majority of the time you want an offensive front bar and a defensive back bar. It might be different in PvE. I'm not a PvP. There you go. Elemental Scepter
on the back bar as well.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, however, do your best to keep your offensive and defensive abilities separated.
I know I sound
the
like shit.
The less thinking you have to do, the easier it is to perform in PvP. My recommendation is to put abilities with the shortest timers on the left side and the longest timers to the right side. If you organize them in this way, your fingers don't have to move nearly as often.
Great advice, brother. Great advice.
In a similar category, keybinds are paramount to your success. One of the most common points of resistance when learning to improve is changing your keybinds. People are easily accustomed to what they know, and they don't give themselves enough time to relearn more optimal key placement. Imagine this. I'm an ESO player and I use Y for my potions. I may be used to it for years and justify that I'm comfortable with it, and that argument is totally fair, but it ignores the travel time it takes from your finger to hit Y versus another key like D to move right. Relearning keybinds requires a bit of time to get used to, but if you prevent your fingers from running all over the keyboard, you'll thank yourself later. To continue this point, organize your keybinds based on when you need them. For example, my mouse has all of my reaction buttons on it.
Let me get a little light.
I turned off double tap to roll dodge, and I recommend you do as well, and rebound mine to a mouse button instead.
There we go.
Your other hand will be busy keeping up your rotation and activating abilities.
So
binding non-abilities to
no, I don't use keyboard and mouse, so I technically wouldn't really know exactly. But I use a Scuff Envision. So you know, I got buttons here, I got buttons here, and I got buttons in the back. And I don't know why I use Control Freak. I just always use that. But it is important to have your key, like, exactly know. So when I'm playing, I could literally, I got so many different, you know what I mean? I'm capable of, like, what he's saying is crucial. Like, if you haven't seen his video, obviously, you know, we're going to go over, you know, some of the video. I always like to leave room so you guys can go check out the original video, the whole video. But it's such a, bro, it's a really good video. Like this video is going to elevate players. This is the kind of knowledge. This is more important than what sets you're running. Like I'm telling you, like, yeah, the sets do come into play, but this knowledge is so important.
And can maintain a sense of mental
could change your game.
When it comes to translating your brain to the game. I've also included interrupt or bashing on the mouse button as well, as breaking free quickly is vital to avoid burst damage. For my final note of keybinding, set up tab targeting. If you're unaware what this is, ESO has a primitive form of maintaining a lock on a target. While it isn't robust like other MMOs, setting your tab key to highlight a target can keep you focused during all that happens during a fight.
Yeah,
you can also set this to use
I need to get used to that. I use my targeting,
so I can't speak onto the effectiveness of this feature.
This one.
Now that we've taken care of some of the boring chores required for optimal PvP combat, we can examine what a fight really is. While a fight might seem like a lot is happening, we can break any of those fights into a fundamental, and this is true across most games.
Yeah.
In ESO and other PvP games, fights are, at their core, races to meet a win
I'm all
condition.
jacked up.
For those aren't familiar, a win condition is a set of circumstances required for you to...
Okay, so I obviously, you know, if you want to go to the video uninterrupted, you know, this is like a reaction video or commentary. You know, you see these different kind of videos. You don't really see them for video games, but I feel like this is important that another person explains kind of, you know, his opinion on this. In game, a win condition is specifically situation or set of criteria that we may result in victory. It can be a single action, series of actions, or state being that allows a player to achieve the game's intended outcome. Essentially, it's the how to win the game, which he's going over the fundamentals.
Both players are racing to meet these circumstances before the other, and the first one to do so will win. The win condition for each setup varies, but it can also be broke down simply.
Excuse me,
dot setups rely on constant damage.
I'm not in any pain no more, but still not doing the greatest, you know.
If their damage over time outpaces constant healing output from their opponent, the dot player wins. A player using a burst setup, however, achieves their win condition when their bursts line up perfectly and sometimes require a bit of crit fishing to achieve this, but more on that later. When a burst player notices an opportunity presented in the...
Okay, so what he's essentially saying is there's two ways of playing. You could dot someone up or you can burst someone. I personally play the burst style.
Form of a low HP target,
Dizzy swing,
the burst
wrecking
player
blow.
can achieve their win condition. Regardless of how comfortable you are with your DPS rotation, you need to understand both the conditions required by yourself to win, but also your opponent. If you fail to comprehend either of these, your chances of winning drop dramatically, as you either can't anticipate or counter effectively, or set yourself up to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what will they do in order to kill me, and what will I do to kill them? This brings us to the next section, which is how to answer the first part of that question. Predicting your opponent's win condition almost solely
This is a
relies
great
on
video,
visuals
man.
you can determine before the fight
This is a
even
really
begins,
good video.
but also within their first few seconds. Before subclassing, this was an easy task to accomplish.
Yeah, because you didn't have
Fighting
to worry
APK,
about burst.
They're going to use
You know,
dots.
you kind of know what they're
Fighting
doing.
a Sork, all pressure and burst.
Yep.
Fighting a Nightblade, a Templar, or a Warden, they're going to burst.
They're for sure,
With players
100%.
being able to select any skill lines, however, the lines are blurred.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're unreadable.
Yeah, you could still
We can use
read the
context clues to
dots
gather
and
what
the
an
burst
enemy's build
combos
is
that they're
based on
doing.
what we know about the classes before subclassing.
Exactly.
Not every build will be the same, but if you see any of the abilities listed under the burst section of this image, this is a...
So this is a good this this is why this video is so good, because he breaks it down. This is me. These are all burst, right? This is dots. So you know, I like to combo this with this, this and this. This is actually kind of slept on. You got meteorite, you got, you know, these Dawnbreaker, and then you got, you know, your dots.
clear telegraph that your opponent will be looking for an opportunity to match all.
And there's a little
dots.
more dots, I believe. There's a
Later
couple
in the
dots
video,
you can use.
I'll explain what this means in greater detail.
I'm more of a
But
burst
if you
guy.
see any of these abilities cast, know that their burst is coming soon. On the other side, these are the tells that your opponent is using a dot setup and wants to take you down quickly. All of these are entirely uncommon and even rare outside of Stormhaven dueling, so I won't go into great detail about this, but I recommend using the Cleanse CP, or a set like Mara's Bomb,
Yeah,
or Word Tree, if these continue to pester you.
yeah.
Like
Mara's
any
Bomb
race,
is a real good
you can
set
either
with the
focus
dot
on
when you're
simply
getting
beating your
dot.
opponent to their win condition, which is referred to as playing aggressive, or you can be patient, which is referred to as playing passively. As a player, you'll have to confront your build and make the choice which is better for you in your setup.
Exactly.
If this point doesn't make a lot of sense, consider ganking Nightblades to be the epitome of playing aggressive, and permablock tanks being an incredibly passive playstyle.
Yep.
Ideally, you'll find which end of the spectrum works best for you, though I recommend playing aggressive, as reaching your win condition quicker almost always works better than playing passively. During this race, however, understand that either player reaching their burst combo doesn't necessarily equate to a win condition being met.
Yeah,
If I'm
because someone
holding
can counter
block
that.
and a Nightblade uses Incap and 2 bow procs on me, they wasted their entire burst, and now go back to the metaphorical starting position of the race.
Yep.
It's really easy for either player to toss aside their win due to
Those
impatience,
two people
which
doing
brings
right
me
there.
to my next point. Achieving your win condition requires you to focus up and not panic. Landing the final blow on your opponent requires patience.
Yep.
Even if you set up every ability timer correctly, this doesn't guarantee your enemy will fall over.
Exactly.
This brings us to the point of kill windows.
You got
This is a
exactly.
term that refers to the opportunity presented to a
Dude, this video is so good. A kill window. See, when I play, I have such a small window. That's what she said. Actually, my window's large, but it's like you have a small window to literally, like you don't like, especially when you're using blast bones with fissure with dizzy swing. You got to make sure everything lands at once, and then you have a small window of opportunity to land that. So you're essentially just defense, boom. And they're like, oh shit. That's kind of how I play. You know what I mean?
effectively finish your opponent off, thus meeting your win condition. Recognizing these kill windows will lead you to more consistent fights and allow you to challenge much better players than the average battleground enjoyer.
Exactly.
Before I get ahead of myself, let's fall back to some fundamentals. In PvE, rotations are simple. Keep up your timers, and when one of them hits 0, do it again. But PvP is entirely different. For the video, we'll only focus on bursts rather than dot gameplay, as this will be found in nearly every build.
Yeah.
Burst damage in PvP revolves around matching many timers to hit 0 at the same time. We'll be using a timeline separated by 1 second intervals to display this concept. Deep Fissure is a skill that exemplifies the concept of the delayed burst after activation.
Exactly.
The skill takes 3 seconds to deal its damage, and then again another.
And then you got another. Yep.
On its
That's
own,
my favorite. That's my favorite
predicting
skill.
when this ability will activate allows us to add on to this ability. In this case, we'll also use Power of the Light. After we activate Shulks, we use Power of the Light. But you may notice their damage activates at separate times, thus demonstrating the issue here. Burst builds require damage to activate simultaneously,
Exact same time,
rather than fragments as seen above.
Exactly.
If you're using a build from online or created one on your own, that might seem good on paper but poor in practice.
Yeah.
This could stem from the issue displayed on screen.
Exactly. It is
The
a
order
timing
in which
issue.
abilities are activated is the single most important step in PvP, so let me show you how to address this. If we first activate Power of the Light,
Dude,
wait
this
3
graph
seconds,
is perfect.
then
Like this video is very, very good. Now it can go on for a very long time, so we're gonna finish up this section of it, and then I'll have it linked in my channel and everything, and then you guys can go watch the full video so he can get all the credit, because
both abilities will detonate
this
on the
is,
same tick,
you know, I want him to
resulting in
get
a
the
much
credit
higher
for
burst
this
and
video.
disallowing opponents to recover.
It's absolutely amazing
now we can
video.
fill in the timeline a bit more, throwing in spammables between our Power of the Light and Deep Fissure.
Like, see,
While you're using your
he
spammable,
knows.
observe the opponent's health. If they are at a low enough point that you think you can meet your win condition and burst them down, activate your ultimate ability the tick before your other burst will go off.
This guy's
or
the real
use
deal.
A stun as well. In the image provided, I'm listing Dawnbreaker as the ultimate used just before Deep Fissure and Power of the Light explode, as this will both stun and burst the opponent. For your own build, create a timeline like I have and map out your abilities. If you cannot confidently express the correct order of abilities, pause and try this exercise on your own.
This is a great video,
If
brother.
all of your
This is a
timers
really
are
great
correct,
video.
Your opponent is at a lowest HP, and your burst.
So basically, he's got it all time stamped out, so you can kind of, you know, go through it if you want. I definitely, you know, let me make me just a little bigger here. I definitely got to say, man, you really have a great videos. Absolutely amazing. I would definitely go give this guy a shout out. You know, I'm gonna go give him a shout out. Go give him a like. I don't know how I didn't like this video already. This video is absolutely amazing. Like, straight amazing. He has so much potential. It's actually insane. I mean, the way he makes his videos, they're so detailed. This is the kind of video people need, because with this video, they can see the difference between a skilled player that has the best sets and then a player that has no idea what he's doing and he has the best sets. You could have someone with the best gear, best everything, and it do absolutely nothing for you. And then you have a player that has mediocre stuff, but he understands all this. That's why you see low CP guys, 400, 500, bodying fools because of this situation. So, once again, brother, I definitely appreciate you. These videos are amazing. Keep up the hard work. You deserve all the credit. I'm going to link this in my description. Go check out the original video. I don't want to play the whole video on my channel just because I want you guys to go to his channel to finish the whole video, to watch the whole thing. This dude's absolutely amazing. Once again, I appreciate you, brother. Hopefully we can play sometime. I'm sorry I've been real sick. This fucking tooth. My teeth are nice. Like, they're pretty clean. Like, they did a good job. But the problem is that if they do a crown and then they cap it, and something goes wrong, bacteria, I don't know. It got me sick as fuck. I'm all fucked up. But I definitely appreciate you guys once again. Take it easy. Out.